So today we talk about measures of spread. So before we're talking about center, where it's kind of the centralized or the middle ground for your set of data points. And today we're talking about spread, so kind of the distribution of this data, how far everything is from the center. So measures of spread, to define that, is these are statistical values that represent the distance between values as well as the distance from the center of the data. So one of those measures is range. So range is the difference between the maximum, or the highest or greatest value, and minimum, that lowest or smallest data point. Just gives us an idea of how far that data is spread out. Now, quartiles are different values that split the data evenly into 4 parts. Okay, so the first quartile is the middle of the lesser half of the data set. So to find it, you are going to find the median of the data, that middle number, and then the median of the lower half of the data. Okay, so we're splitting this, so let's say that we have, this is our range of data, we're going to find the median, and then we're going to split that value in half, and that is that quarter 1 number. It's going to be the middle of the lower half of the data. Okay, so second quartile is the middle of the data set. It is the median. So you're going to find the median of the data set as a whole. So again, looking at those values, this right here, that median value is the second quartile. Okay, the third quartile is the middle of the greater half of the data set. So you find the median, again, of the data, and then the median of the upper half of the values. So here you have, again, all of your values. You got your middle number, your median here in the middle, and then if you take the middle of the upper values, you find that third quartile. And so if you notice, between the lower quartile being here and the middle being here and the third being here, we've now split this evenly into 4 evenly spaced sets of data. And that's the goal of that first, second, and third quartile. All right, and then the final value that we're going to talk about, or measure of spread, is the interquartile range. So this is the range of the middle of the data. So range covers the whole pieces of data, and the interquartile range is only going to cover the middle section of the data, so from quartile 1 to quartile 3. So to do this, we are going to find the first and third quartiles and subtract. Okay, we're just going to find the range of that first and third quartiles. Okay. All right, so let's look at just using this data. All right, so first off, these are the ratings for a new product on an online store. Okay, here's all the ratings listed from 1 to 5. So we're going to find the mean, median, range, and interquartile range for the given data set. So we need to rearrange them first from least to greatest. So let's do that. So I start off with my ones. So I have 2 1s. And then 2s, I have a 2, I have a 2. And then 3s, I have a 3, and another 3, and another 3. And then 4s, I have a 4, another 4, and another 4. And then 5s, I have a 5, I have a 5, I have a 5, another 5, and a last 5. Okay? Alright, so when we start talking about these values, so first off, we are looking for the mean. So I'm going to add all of these numbers together. And so once I add all of those numbers together, I get a total of 52 points. And there are 15 of them total. So I can divide that out, and I get an average of 3.47 stars, if that's what you want to call it. Now, median is going to be our middle number. So that's going to be our quartile 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We said there are 15 numbers. So our middle number is right here. That's quartile 2. So a 4 is the median number. Not far off from the mean, but when we're only talking about numbers 1 to 5, between a 3.5 and a 4 is pretty substantial difference. All right, so that's our quartile 2. So now we're asked to find the range. So the range is the maximum, all right, that's this maximum number here, all the way down to our minimum. So 5 is the maximum, we're subtracting the minimum, and so 4 is our range. There's a range from 1 to 5 is a range of 4. Okay. Now the quartile 1 takes the lower half of data and splits it in half. So my lower half of data is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers here, and we want the middle number. So my middle number here is 2. So that's my lower quartile, or my first quartile. So that value is 2. And then the upper quartile has a value of, or the third quartile has a value of 5. And so my interquartile range is from this value to this value. And so that 5 minus that 2, 5 being my third quartile, 2 being my first quartile, is a value of 3. And so here are my values that I was asked to find. So my average is 3.5. My median is 4. The range is 4. And my interquartile range is 3. So a lot of different pieces of information, just depending on what we're looking for, is how we're going to use those statistical values.